everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and podcast, Make a Choice, Have a Voice. So for today's video, I will be interviewing Carol Gist, the first Black Miss USA ever. She was Miss USA 1990. She actually competed against my mom in the Miss USA pageant, which was awesome. They're both really cool gals. I love them both. So I'm just going to read some statistics that I have off to the side right here. During the 2015 through 2016 school year, Black students represented only 15% of total U.S. student enrollment, but they made up 35% of students suspended once, 44% of students suspended more than once, and 36% of students expelled. The U.S. Department of Education concluded that this disparity is not explained by more frequent or more serious misbehavior of students of color. In New York City, 88% of police stops in 2018 involved Black and Latina people, while 10% involved white people. Of those stops, 70% were completely innocent. In a U.S. survey, 15.8% of students reported experience race-biased bullying or harassment. Research has found significant associations between racial bullying and negative mental and physical health in students. From 2013 to 2017, white patients in the U.S. received better quality health care than about 34% of Hispanic patients, 40% of Black patients, and 40% of Native American patients. Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to experience a pregnancy-related death than a white woman, even at similar levels of income and education. Black women are likely than white Americans to be arrested. Once arrested, they're more likely to be convicted, and once convicted, they're more likely to experience lengthy prison sentences. Black Americans and white Americans use drugs at similar rates, but Black Americans are 6 times more likely to be arrested for it. On average, Black men in the U.S. receive sentences that are 19.1% longer than those of white men convicted for the same crimes. In the U.S., Black individuals are twice as likely to be unemployed than white individuals. Once employed, Black individuals earn nearly 25% less than their white counterparts. One U.S. study found that job resumes with traditionally white-sounding names received 50% more callbacks than those with traditional Black names. In the U.S., Black workers are less likely to receive white workers to be employed in a job that consists of their level of education. Those are just a few things that I want everybody to keep in mind while we go into this interview. I love Carol. She's amazing. She's just so kind and so educated, and I think she has a lot of good things to say. So I hope you enjoy everything that we have filmed. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. So we're just gonna hop right into it then. Okay, so for all of my viewers and listeners, this is Carol Ann Marie Gist. Carol was the first Black Miss USA ever to be crowned.
Miss South Carolina, Miss USA is Miss Michigan, Carol Gist.
On to compete at the Miss Universe pageant, where she was awarded first attendant, which is a pretty big deal. Actually, so my mom also competed in the Miss USA pageant in 1990, and they together went on to perform at the Miss USA USO tour shortly after, where they performed for military servicemen and women in different parts of the world, which is pretty cool. My mom always talks about all the great memories that you guys had at the Miss USA pageant and the USO tour, and how exciting it was. So I'm excited to finally actually meet you and see you face to face. This is awesome.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
I love your mom. Yeah, still do. She was the cutest little thing. She was nice and petite, and I just love her spirit. the teeny sisters, you know.
Yes.
Talented singing sisters, and both to win a state title the same year. It was so cool.
Yes, it was awesome. She's always spoke very, very highly of you, and so I was really excited for this interview. So if it's okay with you, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you were born, your childhood, siblings, children, family interests, talents, hobbies, anything like that you would like the viewers and listeners to know?
Well, I don't know. I think my life's almost a pretty open book. Whenever I look on Wikipedia, they got something on there. So I am, Detroit born and raised. I went to the best high school in the United States. At least that's how we call it, Cass Technical High School. A lot of notable entertainers and political innovators and business entrepreneurs that have come out of that lovely high school and establishment. And
Awesome.
so did the second one to win Miss USA. She also came out of Cass Tech, the second woman of color, 3 years later. So the first two women of color both came from Detroit and went to the same high school. We were doing something right here.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's actually really cool.
I'm a mother having a hot flash, as you can see. So
I cannot even tell.
it is not hot. It is very cool, but it's another chapter of my life.
We all go through it.
My daughter's 27 and the mother of my cute, adorable grandson, Zakari, and my son is 23. His name is Keith. My daughter's name is Tyler.
Okay.
And very close. And I spelled it differently. I spelled it with an A, so it was Tylar. That's how I spelled Tyler. And you have a different way of spelling your name as well. So
Yes.
Yeah. And I graduated with my undergrad in business in '92. I took that year. I would have graduated in 3 years with a dual bachelor's and 2 associate degrees. But I took a year off for Miss USA.
Yeah.
So I graduated. Actually, the year I would have normally, most people would graduate in the 4-year amount of time. And went into business and was an entrepreneur and mentor around in the Michigan area. I still continue to do motivational speaking. And then I got married and was a stay-at-home wife and mother. And when I went back into the workforce, I didn't go back into what I went to school for. I've always been an athlete. I played volleyball, I was a collegiate volleyball player, and I ran track. And somehow along the way I had lost that. And fitness is what actually gave me my life back. So in trying to become happier with myself, because I didn't like the size I had gotten up to, I didn't like where I was, I didn't recognize myself, and I had lost my voice.
Yeah.
And so through the process of trying to fight to be me again and feel like me, healthy and whole, I was able to help a whole lot of other people do that along the way, and decided to get my master's in kinesiology, which is the study of movement. I became a personal trainer, and I had already been a group fitness instructor, but that's how I continued my education. Was when I was going back to school, so I might as well get a master's instead of MBA.
Wow.
I might as well get a master's in something that I really, really love and I'm passionate about.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Journey, since I guess you should say 1996, literally, and I officially started Royal Beat Fitness in 2006, where I pretty much helped men, women become the best version of themselves physically.
Wow.
And people lose weight, get stronger, drop A1C numbers, improve their biometric numbers, and get off the blood pressure medicine, and just live healthier and happier. I don't believe anyone has to be a 0 or a size 2, but it's about being the fittest you can be, the healthiest you can be, whatever size that is. Your body will find its own natural weight set point, and it shouldn't be a struggle to maintain it if that's that's where your body feels comfortable and healthiest at.
Yeah. That's awesome. Good for you. Honestly, that's amazing. That's awesome that you've been doing that. That's some crazy accomplishments right there.
I'm at Wayne State University, which is one of our state large research university in the city of Detroit. We have campuses all over, but it's right in the heart of Midtown Detroit. And I've been there 15 years. And I'm a wellness coordinator currently. I'm working on a second master's in sports administration.
Wow.
And I just like helping the students not catch that freshman 15, so to speak. So even if you're not an athlete, like when you come to college and your lifestyle changed, you might have had more physical activity because you might have walked to school.
Yeah.
Or, some programs still had physical education. And just in general, you were more mobile. Then you get to college and you're sitting and studying more. You don't really have to go anywhere. You don't have, especially if you're on right over your shoulder. So some things like weight gain is a common occurrence.
Yeah.
So trying to help everyone navigate those early college years and finding, fun ways to stay active, because I run the wellness department at the university's recreation and fitness center.
Wow.
It's just fun, just trying to find ways to help them stay engaged for themselves without, you can study and be on the treadmill. Teaching those classes, like, that's how you maximize your physical activity time. You can listen to the lecture again with your earbuds in and get that information into your brain and in your ear gate, your eye gate. Again, layering that learning is going to help you be more successful at school, and staying physically active is going to also help you stay healthier while in school.
Exactly.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's seriously so cool. That's some great accomplishments, seriously.
And right before this interview, I had my archery coach was over, and that's my newest passion is archery. Hopefully one day you'll see me competing in the Olympics. That is a goal of mine.
That is so cool. That is awesome. Good for you. Katniss Everdeen over here.
New love is all things archery. So I was shooting very well today.
That's good. That's awesome. That's such a unique talent to have. Good for you. That's awesome.
Hope to come and visit you guys there in Utah, so maybe your mom will take me someplace where I can shoot.
Yes.
There are pretty places out there.
I'm sure there is. I've never really looked into it, but I'm sure there's awesome places out here. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. So being a black woman, did you ever experience discrimination for the color of your skin growing up? Where you did? If so, could you tell us about it?
Well, growing up, I don't think I was quite aware of blatant racism until I got to my college older, I would say. I started modeling when I was 12, and I did do some traveling. And when I worked with the auto show, and again, I experienced it during my reign as Miss USA.
Yes.
My younger days, I would actually say I experienced more colorism as an issue than racism, which is the reverse. It's kind of like color reverse racism. So I just wasn't dark enough for some people in the black community. And that can be just as disturbing as blatant racism, because either way, it's about my skin color, which I have no control over.
Yes.
And I remember being teased. They were asking me, what are you? Are you, you look Chinese, or they would tease me about my height. If it wasn't, the two things that I was teased the most about were things I could not change, and that was my height and my color.
Yeah.
And, so you have people that are supposed to be your people saying you're not dark enough, and then, of course, you got white people saying you're black, so you're not good enough. So you're being judged for something that has nothing to do with who you are.
Yeah.
And it just it's uncomfortable, and it can make life challenging.
Yeah.
But the very thing that I told young people, that whenever I had the chance, working with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, youth in the area, different local churches that would invite me out to speak, and even with detention centers. I went to a lot of youth detention centers and trying to talk to young people about choices. And the topic of choices was obviously ones they've made haven't all been good, or else they wouldn't be here, in that detention center.
Yeah.
And so, like life, there's things that are outside of your control, but you can't blame anybody,
Exactly.
or anyone, for not making the most of what it is you have.
Exactly.
We have many examples of people in history who have done that. From not even we get spoiled. We got light bulbs. They were trying to read and learn by candlelight. That's very hard.
Yeah.
If it's not bright enough, I'm like, I can't see. Use anything. If our phones die, if we leave it, we feel handicapped. But, they make it work with basically nothing. And so I just had to remind myself of that too many people paid a price for me not to do my best, no matter what. And whether it's fair or not, life isn't always fair. It's not about being fair. You have to rise above and if you have to work 2 times as hard, 3 times as hard to even get the attention of someone who's doing less, so be it.
Yeah.
Is it fair? Is it right? No. But is that what we have to do? Yes. Because I can't sit back and whine and say, somebody, a white person, they cheated and they just got a slap on the hand. I cheat. I'm expelled. I'm made an example of. So there's things in your mind you grow up knowing. I can't do it. I can't do what they can do. I can't get away with what they can get away with. So it's that mindset as well. So you just have to work harder. And once you resolve that's just how it is, and that's how you have to be, then you just go for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this battle, because it's just like, for you, even in school, there might be that big test what's coming, or that big project you have to do, and you're like, I don't want to work on it, I don't want to do this. But you bite the bullet and you start doing little bits each day, or making those steps, so you don't have all this pressure on you to do it at the last minute.
Yeah.
As you do that, you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
You're proud of your work at the end.
Yeah.
Because you didn't wait till the last minute.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. Once you've made the resolution in your mind, it becomes less difficult. And that's just how it was. So I didn't know anything different. I didn't operate any different. It's like I have to do it, and I might have to be twice as good or work twice as hard to get the same accolades or the same accommodations and credit or merit. And that went from school to work, in a working environment. So in both fields that I studied in my undergrad were both white male dominated industries. There was already a glass ceiling for women. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it's called if you're a woman and you're black. So I don't know if it's a glass ceiling and a glass floor. I don't know. Glass walls. I don't know. There's twice the opposition to do it. And I remember doing a research paper, even in my college years, about African American women in the automotive industry, and there weren't a lot that were high up, and you have to almost be so blatant in your face, friggin' amazing. Yeah. And some wild stuff, like not once, but multiple times for them to go, oh, we'll make her a vice president. Oh, I guess we'll let her do this. It's almost slapping you in your face, because you're like, she's making, they're doing these things, they're doing exceptional work that men who are getting twice the pay and in the same position or higher aren't even doing.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of how it is. Sorry. I don't know if I went way off, but
no, it's all good.
I experienced colorism more than I did racism, and then when I encountered racism, for me personally, maybe it's my spiritual roots and just my love of God. I cannot return evil for evil.
Yeah.
So, barring them physically attacking me, which I have not had that happen, just words, verbal. I have had things not go my way in a work environment, promotions that I should have had that weren't given to me. and it's not like one of them like, oh, you're just saying that? Like, I know. I was told after the fact that person, a white male, blocked me from getting that promotion.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? There was nothing in my record. There was nothing that would have said I couldn't have done it, other than the fact he just didn't want me to have it. And so, I have the position now that he didn't want me to have, but it was years later that it happened.
It will go you, right?
It's just interesting that you just stay the course, you stay positive, you stay a person of integrity, you stay a person who's hardworking, and you let your work speak for you.
Yes.
You let your integrity speak for you, and then it doesn't have to be about color. To me, I pray still that one day it won't be.
Yeah.
I pray that one day it won't be a huge, big deal when it's a woman of any other race or ethnicity that's not Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, blue-eyed and blonde, whatever the description in that return. Just when they win, it's not like, oh, an Arab American won. Oh, an Asian American won. Oh, an African American won. I'm like, if they've been here 2 and 3 generations, it kind of should just be called an American.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel. I'm just an American. I happen to be a darker skinned one, but I'm just American. And that used to be my rant. That would be the only thing I ranted about. That I'm torn between. I know it's a label, but at this point I'm like, just call me black. I mean, if you have to call me something.
Yeah.
Because even though we took the time in my family to research our African roots, we are like 5 generations away from that. And at this point, I don't even know why we would have to be actually called African American. I can't go back to Africa and claim Africa because they don't claim me.
Yeah.
And then you do have a large amount of African immigrants who are first generation that they are African American. So there is a distinction, and that's the Black American, and then there are actual African Americans that I know, some white African American. We joke about it.
Yeah.
From South Africa. I said, "Oh, you more African American than me."
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. Actually, it totally makes sense.
Yeah. Not about colors. And you saw that there was white people in Africa who were born there, and they're 2 or 3 generations there.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are actually more African American than me. Now that you have moved here and you've been here 15, 20 years. But you're the first generation here.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I actually really never thought about that way, actually. So, it's something to think about, actually. Okay, so what age did you enter your first pageant, and why did you decide to enter?
Well, I don't even know if it was really a decision.
Yeah.
I've been an athlete, but prior to focusing fully on volleyball and track, I was a dance. And the dance school, I danced for like 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And the dance school that I was a part of, we had a competitive line, and I was on the competitive team, and we would compete at different different circuits. Like we had different pageant systems for pageants. One of the major ones was called North American Pageant System, and they did debutante modeling, or competitive modeling is how we call it now, which they do in these pageant systems where they have the fun fashion, and spokesmodel, and all these things. That's what we did, but I never looked at it as like a Little Miss or Little Miss Co-Ed and Miss Outstanding Teen or to Miss Teen USA. It was the dance competition pageant for us, and it was the coolest thing because it had all types of competition.
Yeah.
It would last over a week. They had roller skating, rhythmic dance with the ribbons and hula hoop and Then, of course, the dance and all the disciplines in dance, ballet, tap, jazz, and creative dance. It was all these different things all under one roof, and competitive modeling was in it. And because I was so tall, and, again, I told you I was teased about my height a lot, Mom could tell. My dance teacher made me keep my posture.
Yeah.
She did, she wasn't having that. Ballet teacher, she had a little stick come around, throw the shoulders back, tap you on your butt. Look, you're not standing up straight.
Yeah.
At the ball with your arms right and all of that. And so, me slouching was not a big thing, but I still would sometimes try to hang my head.
Yeah.
And not look at people, and the thinking like somehow me looking down, whatever, that's the mind of a child. It's going to somehow make me shorter. I don't know how I thought that, but I just wouldn't look up. I just would look down, but I didn't slouch. So I had, anyway, I was doing that. She says, no, you need to learn how to hold your head up. And somebody said, why don't you try to get her in the little pageant thing, the competitive thing. And so it was actually just a debutante modeling competition where, you had the hoop skirt on. Don't make it swing like a bell. That was probably the best thing they could tell you, was don't make your dress swing back and forth like a bell. And I did that, and then I did spokesperson, fashion runway, and I just loved it. It was so much fun. And it was all about me instead of me being on the team with the dance. It was just me.
Yeah.
And they gave feedback, and I literally grew from the feedback. I was like, oh, they said I didn't make eye contact. The very thing they're trying to work on me about, hold your head up, don't look down.
Yeah.
And make eye contact with people. And just reading those notes from somebody else who's not your mom, or,
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to listen to other people that's not mom.
Yeah.
Part of it, I wanted to do better the next time I did it. So that's what actually I got bit the bug, so to speak. But I only did that like a year and a half. So it was like a competition of 3. I won this junior continent. I went to nationals, and I placed. And then I did a modeling competition that was in New York City.
Oh, wow.
Makeup artistry, runway, commercial spokesperson, and one more thing, I can't remember, hand modeling or something. It was different categories that you could do, but it was literally geared more toward modeling.
Yeah.
And I had won, had placed in 2 divisions, and won first place in the makeup artistry division. And I was 16, and that was when I had an opportunity to be under the tutelage of Eileen Ford of Ford Models, but my mom said no. So I didn't get to stay in New York with, Wilhelmina at Ford Agency and Eileen Ford, because it was both. I had the opportunity to work with both. And so I came back home sad, because I was thinking I could have been that first Tyra Banks, actually. And I said, oh, well, that wasn't for me to do.
Oh, my gosh.
I didn't do another pageant. I was a senior in school, and I knew my parents were not together and did not have the financial means to send me to college, so I knew it was on me to do. Mm-hmm. And I worked on making sure my academics were good. I was at a very competitive high school, and so even having a 3.57, I didn't have a 3.57. I was probably in the 10% of my class, but we had 10 valedictorians. So we had 995 students. We graduated 98% of our class, and again we had 10 valedictorians.
10 valedictorians. I have never heard of that ever. That's crazy. That's crazy.
A tie they couldn't break, and they all had over a 4. So it was crazy. I can't remember what it was. Their GPAs were all the same though. So it was like, just let it be a 10-way tie. What are you gonna do?
Wow, that's crazy. That is nuts.
So, I was just happy I did get academic scholarship, and then I got athletic scholarship. Mm-hmm. But I had also entered into a local talent competition, which some will say was a pageant, but they build themselves as a talent competition, and I sang. I got first runner-up the first time I competed against Kenya Moore, who was the second woman of color from Detroit to be crowned Miss USA.
Wow, that's awesome.
Then the next year, she crowned me. I won. So I was just looking to earn extra money that would help me, pay for stuff on my car and help me, get the supplies and the things that I needed for school.
Yes.
And I was always about making a way. So that was actually the extent of my pageant, I guess, if you want to put it that way. And then I had the auto show, and it happened to be a young lady who was traveling. We had modeled together locally at a lot of the different malls and fashion. I don't know if we call it our local fashion here. And every time she would see me either on tour or if we got work together, because she went out for Miss Michigan, she had won Miss Michigan and competed at Miss USA. She earned Miss Congeniality, right?
Yeah.
Which is she's very bubbly and very personable.
Yeah.
And she was just like, Carol, you should do it. And she focused on my height. She said, you would do so well. Like my height was going to win it for me. I don't know. But she was petite, and she just felt like I would do so well. But every time I saw her, she would ask me about it. It was relentless. So I actually did to actually be able to say, yes, I did, thinking it would stop her from asking me.
Yeah.
I signed up to try to do Miss Michigan USA with my hand tied behind my back. My arm twisted.
That's so funny. I think this is such a funny question. So what was your most embarrassing moment while competing throughout all of your pageants?
I've actually had a couple of those. Like getting named one. Well, it's the first one for me. Well, I don't know. It didn't have to be Miss USA because you said competing in pageant. It could have been actually the first one. I went out and my sash kept falling down. I tried to, right, but it kept falling down by here, and literally I thought maybe it'll stay. I tried to bend my arm so that it wouldn't go, but it fell all the way down.
Oh no!
So that to me that was kind of embarrassing. Another time, a different track came on that wasn't for me. Didn't know how to say, show my soul on, tried to play it off.
Yeah.
That they weren't getting that. It wasn't my song. And
oh
it was
no.
feeling awkward. And instead of just standing there, I actually started trying to sing my song. Just like tune out whatever that track was, and just sing my song.
Oh no.
So really crazy. Like it's not matching. But
oh, that's so funny.
They figured it out, and then we started all over again. But it makes you get all red and hot and flustered, and you start sweating.
Yeah, I know the feeling for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that one. And I've never fallen.
That's good. That is good. That's very good.
That's probably the only one. And then I don't know. I think that's it. It's pretty tame. I mean, the night of Miss USA was a whole story, but it's not embarrassing. It's just ironic. And then I often say God has a sense of humor because all of the stuff that happened that night was just hilarious.
That's fun.
It really blew my mind. Everybody knew exactly what I went through that day, and you would have thought, there's no way.
Yeah.
But I suppose anybody that's really a faith-focused person and knows that a lot of times right before the victory, the enemy really comes against you to try to derail you and shift your focus.
Yes.
Even get you to use your mouth to stop the blessing that's right about to happen. And so in hindsight, I can see that was what it was. And I was just glad that where I was spiritually mature enough to not let it get me down.
Yeah.
I panicked for a moment, and then I said, okay, what are we going to do? And God would work it out. Because I would never say, oh my God, this isn't, I didn't get negative, but I was just like, oh my God, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have any answers, so you got to work this out. So yeah, I had like 4 or 5 of those moments all in that one day.
Yeah.
Even up to that, we're live and on camera, and I look out and see the judge is wearing my evening competition dress. That's what she's wearing. And I was like, I can't wear the dress. The judge has it on. I'm freaking out, and because you have that mindset that most women don't want to go to the party and see themselves, see their dress on someone else, right?
Yeah.
You go to prom, you really wanted that dress. Maybe you had it made. Maybe you really saved it. If somebody else got the same dress on,
Yeah.
you had it tailored to you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
How you got on my dress? I just want to know how would that make you feel?
Yeah, no, that's always the worst feeling.
So I wasn't sure that would go so well. In my mind, I didn't first think, oh, she's for sure going to score high for me, thinking I got great taste.
Oh
Part of
my
me
gosh.
wanted to think that that's what would happen, but the other part of me was like, I'm dying over here. This is the only dress I have, and the judge is wearing it. What am I going to do? Really. So thank God for Sherry Hill. She was hanging out backstage with a rack full of dresses that nobody was going to wear, and I was able to pull one off that rack and wear it. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. That.
To wear. I didn't come to the pageant with.
Yeah. So during your reign as Miss USA, did you have a platform that you were able to implement? Like, what was your platform for Miss USA?
At Miss Youth. Yeah, at the very beginning when I mentioned working with Boys and Girls Club of America and speaking at youth detention centers. So
Wow.
At With Youth, I didn't have a specific organization that I worked with besides the Boys and Girls Club of America, because youth was my thing, but I really wanted to try to reach kids who were on that edge. Whether you had parents who were addicted or coming out of foster care, and you just feel like I got to take care of myself, whatever. And I'm hungry, so I stole. It's whatever that mindset is. It's like, look, life might give you lemons, but let me tell you, you're in control, and you can make lemonade out of those lemons. And so, once you can stop blaming society, a lack of a parent, a bad parent, society, the man. The dog made me do it, whatever. When you stop blaming and you can take ownership of who you are, I'm a bowl full of lemons.
Yeah.
I can make lemonade. I can make lemonade.
Exactly.
And my friends was like, look, what is the life you dream for yourself? What is one you have thought about? It's not impossible.
Yeah.
So when you start, because they have a lot of them stop dreaming. And that, I think, was the crux of why they went rogue, because they lost dreams. They didn't have one to hold on to have a picture in front of them that they're pushing to get, like that vision board. They didn't have anything in front of them that was giving them a target to shoot for. And so that was one of them. The first choice is to choose to dream again and to choose to paint that picture of what you see your life to be, or what you would hope for or like for it to be.
Yeah.
Never too impossible. It's never an out of the scope of possibility, no matter the background. Everyone has a story. And if you can hold on to the fact that that there is someone out there in the world, it could be the person down the street from you, but for sure, it's someone in the world who is worse off than you, who has a sadder story than you, who has a more tragic trauma event that would make yours look like a walk in the park.
Yeah.
And they would gladly trade places with you. So what are you going to do with what you have at your disposal now? Does that mean you keep your behind in school? And if the teacher is sucky, and if the teacher doesn't help you, Can you not go to the library? Can you not get a book? Can you not read? Can you not,
Exactly.
So I'm like, stop making excuses for what you don't have, what you can't get, what you can't do because of someone else. No,
Yeah.
you are in charge of your destiny. What are you going to do with it?
That's really cool. I really like that, actually. I bet you did a lot of really great things with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you made history by being crowned the first Black woman to ever win the Miss USA title, did you feel a responsibility to speak out for and defend other women who are Black and ever experience discrimination?
Well, I don't. That's a big, tall order because it. Let's face it. It was a pageant. There are women who are experiencing, discrimination in all different industries. Trying to make it in the auto industry, like I had pointed out. Trying to make it at the law firm. Trying to make partner at the law firm. They're winning more cases, but they still can't. Aren't given the opportunity to earn partner. Women in medical field and women in research and studying and academia. Racism happens everywhere.
Yeah.
So to say I felt responsibility to take that on for everyone, no. But what I felt immediately was that pride, that sense of pride that yes, I can give a young girl a vision of something that she hadn't seen before in this area right here, and I wanted to also, I felt a little bit of more pressure to not mess up, to not do anything embarrassing, because we had a couple of those, that situation where you make it, but then now you're in the spotlight and not so positive a light. So I wanted to keep the light positive and make sure that they knew that whatever you put your mind to, if it is being that astronaut, if it is, you had Mae Jemison, the first Black female astronaut. It's just so many firsts still yet to happen.
Yeah.
So this is one. Go make a first for you. Go be a first in your industry or your area, in your lane. If I can encourage you to do that, I feel like I've accomplished something in a positive vein that gives back. So in looking to inspire and encourage young women, young girls who could see someone else of color do something that hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
And that's inspiring. So, I looked at it more that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in my mind, that even sparked, for me, I've always wanted to be the first in something. And that was, I don't even know that I set out for that to be for that. When I went to college, I wanted, studied hotel restaurant management. And I literally wanted to be the first female Black general manager of a Ritz-Carlton property.
Yeah.
So I've had this burning thing in there that's just like, I can be a trailblazer. I can go down a path just because someone else hasn't.
Yeah.
Not everybody's that way. So, I can inspire someone else, like, hey, somebody else is over here. If I can remind you of those powerful and intelligent and beautiful Black women in so many arenas who made strides being the first. Remind them of the history, going all the way back to Madam C.J. Walker, who was the first Black female billionaire. All the way up to some other firsts, Kenya Barris. No, not Kenya. I don't want to say the wrong name, but where we had the first actually Fortune 500 Black female CEO of a company.
Yeah.
It took how long? We're in the 2000s when this happened.
Yeah.
So, the work is still to be done to inspire and encourage young girls and women.
Yeah.
You don't have to travel down a path that's already been paved. You can go ahead and be the one that's taking that machete and chopping the branches down and the twigs and the bushes down. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to blaze that first path, that first trail.
Well, on that, do you feel that pageants have come a long way with the current Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss Teen USA winners all being women of color?
Yeah, well, it's definitely a historic moment.
Yeah.
But I was laughing because it actually, The first time it was 5, but at first when it was only 3, then we had Miss United States, then Miss World happened, so then that made it 5.
Yeah.
The first one was just 3. I was like, oh, that happened. It was Debbie Turner and I were both women of color. She wasn't the first Black Miss America, but it was a Black one in both Miss America and Miss USA at the same time, and then Miss Teen, she was the outgoing one. I was like, we've had the 2 and we've had 3 before, but this is the first with 5.
Yeah.
It's not a normal occurrence. So the fact that there's 20 years and 10 years, big gaps in between, that it's a beautiful thing. I don't want to say that it's because, I heard someone say Black women are trending. I was like, what is that? Like a fashion?
Yeah.
like bell bottoms are trending, like tube tops are back, or high waisted jeans.
Yeah.
That we're trending. Okay, so in that regard, it's just beautiful for me. But again, as I told you earlier, one day I wish that it's not a surprise. Or like such an amazing, like, wow, jaw dropping, like, woo, what? Like, scratch my head, did that just happen? Yeah. Because, yes, everyone wants to see themselves represented, and that's why it was such awesome that the next first happened here again in Michigan. Rima Fakiri she won in 2010, and she was the first Arab American to be crowned Miss USA. So Michigan has had 3 firsts.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that either. That's crazy. That's so cool.
And so it's just having all people, anyone that bleeds red, and if you don't bleed red, then maybe we can have a different discussion. But if you bleed red, I'm like, why can't we just celebrate all of our diversity?
Yeah.
It's like, all white people don't have blue eyes. All white people don't have blonde hair. All white people don't have blue. It's just another facet of who we are.
Exactly.
If all the same, it would be very boring.
Yeah.
God doesn't even like all the same, or else he would need to make 50 million variations of a rose.
Yeah.
Let alone a tulip and a hydrangea and a chrysanthemum. We could just have one flower.
Yeah.
So he painted the world colorful in his creation, and we're just another extension of that creation. In fact, we're the crowning creation. So why wouldn't it, if we mimic nature, why wouldn't human life, be mimicked the same way he created the nature? And he created that for us.
Yes.
He created the birds and the flowers and the trees, and he created that for us.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we think he would create us all one, the same type?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, and because of the systemic racism that has been for so long, we are overjoyed when it's like we finally have a chance to shine, or we're finally recognized. No different than when someone makes it in any industry. When that, like we have with the Vice President Kamala Harris, and one of my daughter's friends from from K4 through the 8th grade, they went to school together. But that's one of her best friend's godmother.
Oh, really?
And seeing pictures of them, like, they knew her. I mean, she's from here, but I was like, she knew her. She went to Howard, and that's how the mother, Michael's mom met her. But just saying that she finally got that, how hard did she have to work to make partners, even to get to where she is today?
Yeah.
But, you always have to work to be twice as good just to get normal recognition.
Yeah.
Which is sad, but, when we finally see someone make it to another level that hasn't been reached before, we all rejoice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's that little sadness, like, dang, it took how many years? It took how long? It took this long? So it's still a sad thing that we have to be happy when it happens. Why couldn't it just be normal commonplace. But we can't dwell on what is or what isn't. But the hope of a better world is that it's not a big deal with anybody of any other color or shade, as long as they're human. And as the human species, when they succeed, they'll help celebrate all successes. Women supporting women and coming together and fighting for equality and pay, let alone having to fight for racial justice.
Yeah.
Instead of fighting about racial, I don't understand how ever, especially a woman, a white woman, I don't know how she can even be racist against a black woman. I'm like, you don't have it that much better. I mean, women all over the world and so many other countries are second-class citizens. It's like, we need to unite, period.
Yes.
Life can't go on and exist without it. So we need to stop trying to take the back seats and all that, and then women of color have that next-hearted ladder to climb. But we all we all need to be together and fight for, equal pay and just better treatment and equality in this male-dominated world.
Exactly. Okay, so would you mind sharing with my viewers and listeners your opinion about Black Lives Matter? And do you agree with the way the protesters are handling things other than violence? How do you think they can let their voices be heard?
I saw that question and I said, it's a real tricky one.
Yes.
Because I believe in Black Lives Matter. It hurts me sometimes when you hear people say, all lives matter. I'm like, but yours isn't being shot with unarmed. Yours isn't under attack, and you haven't had to live in that way. And to me, that's a prime example of white privilege when
exactly.
person of non-color says that.
Yeah.
So, as far as the movement, the actual organization, I personally do not believe in their for everything that they stand for. Mm-hmm. And it's very, I'm torn that their motive or their mission are tied to that movement. I believe in the movement, but not the organization.
Yeah.
You have different life views and all of that they want to encompass into one big ball. I'm not there yet. So I'm not there. I still have to believe, for me, the Word of God and what God says about things, and they have different opinions about some things, some very strong biblical things. I can't support the organization, but I believe in the movement, and I can separate. To me, that's similar to a sin situation. God's situation where only to hate the devil, but he hates and abominates, hate sin, but I don't hate the person. We all commit sin. So if I don't hate people who sin, I won't have to hate myself. So I love everybody, but I don't have to support things that go contrary to what God says. Oh,
of course,
I'm all for. Well, I'm not going to, because I got to answer him. People, if I get feedback from people are people.
Yeah.
Everybody they're like Sodom. Everyone has one. So, I just have the Bible. What does the Bible say?
Yeah.
So, Black lives do matter. All lives matter. True. That is true. And I'm definitely not for the violence. I understand the hurt and what people who don't know another healthy way to express themselves, hurt inward that's repressed and suppressed becomes anger exploded outward.
Yeah.
So because they're not being heard, this built up hurt and pain is coming out in violence.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which I don't agree and don't promote and don't see. If we could come together and affect them and hit them where it hurts the most, in their pockets. And I think they feel like if they're destroying things that they are hitting them in their pockets, to me, that's a way to cause more harm than good, because that's, again, an evil for evil.
Yeah.
Instead of how more positive. Even the Montgomery Boyd bus bus boycott, they did whatever necessary. If they had to, the neighbors came together. I may not know you that well, but you need a ride. I got a car. So 5, 6 of them might be piled in there to try to carpool before Uber was ever. They were doing it, trying to help people get to work because they were not going to take the bus.
Yeah.
And we come together that way and economically affect change.
Yeah.
Stop. Put money in their pocket. If you hit them in their pocket, they're going to take notice.
Yeah.
And that is where we fail to see how we have the most strength in either we create economic wealth and have a voice to come to the table, or we hit them in their economic wealth. And at the same time, if you hear the promotion, I would rather support Shop Black, or just small businesses, just anybody that's not big corporate, because they're the ones that are, rolling the show, running the show, basically. The government, the people got the money, help get the people in office. It's we gotta either get it together, create jobs for other people to have jobs, to create jobs for other people, so people are employed, or choose to where you spend your money. And we don't realize the strength and the power of that too, as a collective, people as a whole. We'll still want to go buy designer, everything. I want to get the Gucci. I want to get the name brand this. I want to drive the Mercedes Benz. If you hit them people in their pocket, they're going to listen. But we won't do it.
In your opinion, what could the current Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss Teen USA title holders do to help spread awareness about discrimination?
Keep living. Something my grandmother, you may have heard this, was a common saying when someone's older, talking to somebody younger, and they just keep living.
Just keep living. I like that.
What they're doing.
Yeah.
Because their existence and their intelligence and their career path and their drive and their heart and their purpose is going to make room for them. It's going to create a platform that will help them continue to be a light, an example, or someone to keep the door open.
Yeah.
If you cracked it, have you ever gone in? It's a door that's often it's locked, but you go in and you put a door stop in there. Somebody else can come behind you. Like, the door cracked.
Yeah.
Let somebody else get in there. And Chesley is, already an accomplished attorney in her own right. I can only imagine she can continue to move forward with what she's doing. And she has the law at her disposal to help do things the right way.
Yeah.
From a legal standpoint. And I love Susie. She has such a cosmopolitan air about her, though she's from, Africa. Or he's her heritage and her family, highly intelligent, speaks multiple languages. Whatever she wants to do, that they continue to shine in that light and have a voice. They can speak love and justice and peace and and get a positive attention to the cause or to a movement to help make life better because she advocates for young girls to be educated in her country. So there's so many different things. These girls of color can go to school and without problem, and what we do with our resources up to us. That goes back to that bowl of lemons.
Yeah.
She's trying to fight for them to be able to have the right. Most boys go to school, and that's in a lot of different cultures. And the girls are, an afterthought. But to fight for girls to know that they can go to school and be smart and have jobs and have careers and be trailblazers, they need to be, taught that, told that over and over, and see the picture of that continuously, because society for generations been getting all of this negative of what they can't do just by the fact that somebody has to fight for them to be able to go to school.
Yeah.
So that's still saying that I'm not worthy. I'm not as valuable to society as the boys, as men. So you have these mixed messages that they've been told since childhood almost. They constantly need to see those positive images, hear those positive messages that you can. You are smart. You are capable of doing anything that you put your mind to.
Exactly.
And the only one who can stop you is you, either with negative self-talk or a hardened heart.
Yeah.
If you let your heart get hardened by the harshness of life and people, that's going to stop your growth and stop you from being able to move forward with anything. So
Yeah.
I think that, they'll do that just by continuing to live. And the very things that help them win the titles that they have, that fear, that unique quality, that fire,
Yeah.
the thing that caught the judges is that very thing that's going to continue to help them be a beacon of light, hope, or inspiration, or encouragement to those that witness it, who see them.
Yeah. Well, in closing, is there anything else that you would like to say or leave with us?
Well, other than thank you so much for having me, and I was looking so forward to seeing pictures of you and your brother and the family pics and stuff like that over the years.
Yeah.
So I feel like I watched you grow up, literally from some little baby.
Well, this is.
You were a senior. I was like, oh my gosh! I remember when she was like turning 11.
Well, this is. I hope you get to come stay with us. And I just wanted to say, just from this interview, I feel like as a future contestant for a pageant in less than 2 weeks, I feel like I've learned so much from you already. And you're just total outlook on life is just awesome, and you're so kind, like just a genuine person, and I really respect that about you.
My pleasure. And I would say to you, just be the best talent you can be. You don't try to be something else, be something you think the judges want to see. I'm telling you, from being in the judge's seat, we want someone who's confidently bold enough to just be them, authentically them, unapologetically,
Yeah. And I love that. I love that.
Genuineness will come through in everything that you do. And
yes.
Even though I say polish it, I don't mind pageant coaching. I just don't like overcoaching. So I say, yeah, you polish it, to pretty it up, and you package it really pretty. But if it's too coached and practiced, it becomes plastic. It becomes fake. It's disingenuous. You're like, what? What is this? I call it perfect pageant or pageant Barbie. I'm turned off.
Yeah.
So I can tell, and I'm like, okay, she's perfect. How long, how many hours did she spend? I don't mind you practicing, but when you get it down to that point where it's you even believe what you just said anymore.
Yeah.
Was it lines that you heard so much? And, and then that also gives an indication that maybe they shouldn't go into acting because they memorized the lines, but there was no feeling.
Yeah. Well, I've been working really hard, and I think I got the best trainer in the world, and that's my mom. She's amazing, and we've been working really hard.
She wouldn't let you be overcoached, so.
Yes. So.
I look forward to hearing all about it. I was trying to see if I can make a trip out there to actually be at the competition. We were talking about a little quick trip getaway. And
that would be awesome. I would love that. But yeah, I hope you do get to come to Utah sometime, though, actually, and come stay with us and meet me and my brother. That would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I would say to anyone else, if you want to try to do pageants, I believe in pageants. It helps. Like I told you earlier, when I would get those judges' feedback in the comments, I would read them and take them to heart.
Yeah.
I could do better the next time.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate it. My mom, had the foresight to get me involved in it. So it gave me something really to feel good about being
Yeah.
involved.
Exactly.
Because that was one place where I could feel accepted. But the irony of it is that when I did compete for Miss USA, and it was only 3 women of color in it, when I first arrived, I did have a moment of feeling overwhelmed, like I didn't stand a chance, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't, yes, there was, 3 black girls and the rest are all Caucasian women, but they were just so beautiful. I mean, brunettes, blonde, brown hair, blue eyes, green eyes, hazel eyes,
Yeah.
whatever. And I was just like, they were so nicely dressed. And here I am. I think I was more self-conscious of not having a lot of money.
Yeah.
About being there. Everything that I pretty much came to the pageant with was borrowed. It was on loan to me that I had to give back. So I think that affected my self-confidence more than anything.
Yeah.
And so when I heard that they were all so tall, they were dressed to the nines, and they had this, even the luggage was fancy and pretty. And I'm thinking, I'm about to go back home.
Yeah.
I did have that moment, and I felt a check in my spirit and say, no, you're just as beautiful and intelligent and talented as every woman here.
Yes.
And we all have a light to shine. It's just up to you to let yours shine a little bit brighter. And I was okay after that moment. After I felt like that got downloaded into me. Cut off. And I was like, hi, my name is Carol. I'm Miss Michigan. To everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Telling me, don't go be Miss Congeniality. I'm not. He said, because Miss Congeniality never wins. And I felt a personal challenge to want to try to be both.
Yeah.
It sounds a little sad when I didn't win Miss Congeniality because I thought I was so funny. I prayed for people. I met and shake hands with everybody and make jokes and laugh and hee ha ha.
That's so fun.
I was like, oh man.
Well,
yes. It all worked out.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much. This has literally been so amazing. I'm so excited we got to do this. And you gave literally the best advice, and so thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a great rest of your evening.
You as well.